So that was definitely a little bit of a culture shock, but
It makes more sense.
Yeah,
though.
it makes total sense.
It makes more sense. Yeah.
Like calling this Diet Coke does not make it healthy. It's just as unhealthy. It's got
water,
fucking all kinds of chemicals in here that are going to cause cancer and
aspartame.
yeah. Well, you know what's freaking crazy when you look at like the stuff that the FDA approves? Aspartame has been known to screw up your internal organs.
As you're drinking Diet Coke.
Yeah, well, it's also addicting. Well,
It is addicting. Yeah.
but it's been known to screw up your internal organs. The FDA knows this damn well, but they approved it anyway.
For the longest time, I thought aspartame was pronounced Aspartame. like a Game of Thrones character, Aspartame.
Aspartame.
When I first said that to him, he was like, "What are you talking about? What is that?"
Yeah, I think we were talking about sweetener or something. And I'm like, and I was saying something about how I preferred Equal to Splenda or something like that.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, I don't like Aspartame." I'm like, "Oh, what?" Or it was
I
like
didn't say I
equal
don't
to
like-
sweet
no,
and low or
'cause
something.
I do use sweet and low every now. I don't drink like soda or anything, but like every now and then I'll have iced tea with sweet and low in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not good for you. I know that.
Yeah.
We know that, but
But here's the problem too: is to try to eat healthy in this country, to be
It's
healthy.
difficult. Yeah.
It's not just difficult; it's insanely expensive,
I don't think it's difficult.
and it's
Look,
inconvenient.
I don't think it's difficult. I think it's more costly.
It's more. It's
It's,
definitely.
but it's
like-
also inconvenient because you can't just go to a regular supermarket and get healthy ingredients.
Yeah, like Vaughn's. They don't sell grass-fed beef. You gotta go to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta go to, I think Trader Joe's might have it,
Tr-
or maybe
I think
It's-
you're probably looking at more like Whole Foods, like
Whole
maybe
Foods,
Sprouts even,
Sprouts. Yeah.
or
But-
And it's like 3x
what
the
is that one
price.
place? Bristol Farms, Gelson's, things like that.
Gelson's, yeah.
Places
Yeah,
like that.
Gelson's is good.
But also-
expensive,
They
very
are, yeah.
expensive.
Well, and that's one thing, but also like even when you're looking at fruits and vegetables, even when you buy organic, the problem is it could be GMO organic.
They're all.
Well, it'll
genetic-
have if it's not, it'll have a label that says non-GMO.
But how often do you see that?
Yeah, you don't. I don't think I've seen that in a long time. It just says organic.
I think every fruit and vegetable now
At this point, yeah.
yeah, genetically modified.
It's like,
Because
well,
that is not the same apple
Exactly.
500-600.
No.
It can't be.
Yeah.
Have you seen what a banana supposedly looked like
With
back then? It was just a
seeds
bunch of
and-
giant seeds.
Or
yeah.
watermelon
Oh,
was
interesting.
bitter, and you can't even
Yeah.
eat it.
Yeah, they've modified everything. They've kind of, but also like now that they're trying to say, well, pesticides are bad, they're just building the pesticides into the fucking fruit.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
But I have realized that when I do buy organic produce, they go bad faster
Yeah.
than regular produce. It's like strawberries, I'll buy
Okay,
organic.
I could-
Tomatoes, I'll buy organic.
days, though.
Cucumbers, they will.
But that's probably
Like you have to
because-
eat them in like
You gotta
a
eat
day
them
or
right
two.
away, yeah.
But here's the thing: is I think part of that organic, whether it's GMO or not, I think part of it is just spraying a bunch of crap that's a preservative on top
Right.
of the fruits and
Right,
vegetables.
yeah.
So you know what's crazy is Roundup, right?
Weed killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant freaking lawsuits because it caused all kind of cancer.
I think I know where I heard about this.
Okay, so here's the crazy part about Roundup: they still use it in farms
On produce and
on
like,
everything,
like around it.
on everything.
How is that allowed?
Well, so the problem was, so at once upon a time they were spraying Roundup, and it cost the farmers a lot of money because it was a pain in the ass because they had to make sure they weren't spraying it directly on the crops so that the crops wouldn't die. And then seed makers started making Roundup resistant seeds.
Wow.
So the plants themselves can be sprayed with Roundup directly.
Jesus Christ.
So it's just coating all your fruits and vegetables.
God.
So if you're not washing the shit out of your fruits and vegetables, you're eating that stuff all day long.
And you can't just wash it with water.
No, it's
You
got to be
need,
like hot
baking
water with like
soda.
dish soap or something. Yeah,
They
something.
have
something.
like
baking
produce
soda.
sweeteners, but who knows what other chemicals are in
Yeah,
that?
who knows
that
what's
shit,
in
like
there,
stuff.
yeah.
Like it's just it's
No, so
you
yes.
don't know.
We're
There's no
screwed.
point.
So they
Like,
At
genetically
this point, we
modified.
shouldn't even eat.
yeah, right.
We should just
I could
have
take benefit
air.
from that.
So the
you know?
funny thing is when I heard about this, I was like, this can't be true. And I went and I started looking at the big seed manufacturers. You could literally jump online right now and
That
just
is
search
insane.
Roundup resistant corn seed, for example. And there are manufacturers that supplies farms with Roundup resistant seeds. So when the plant's growing, as it's growing, you could spray Roundup directly on it, directly on the plant, as they do, because they just dust the crops with.
You can't tell me, in all the technical advancements that we've had, it being 2025, that we cannot find another solution.
Maybe they don't want the solution. Maybe
Maybe they're working on the final solution.
Final destination.
I'm just saying.
Is Roundup owned by?
You know what? That's what Final Destination should do. They should be talking about these things and how people die eating produce.
It's like how Death has a very long game about the produce. It's been working on it for the
Hear
last
me out, directors.
5 decades. Well, yeah.
Are they owned by Johnson and Johnson?
I think it's Bayer.
Okay.
I think it's Bayer.
Yeah.
Which ironically makes the drugs that cures the stuff that the Roundup
I thought
causes.
that's where you were going. That's why I said,
yeah. So the funny thing is, they say that Roundup was essentially a weed killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it was marketed to the end user for home use, somebody made the argument that dandelions they contain chemicals that are good for your heart. So the company that makes the pills that are good for your heart tries to get you to kill the plant that's good for your heart so they can sell more of the pills.
Makes sense.
And I think Bayer, I don't know, don't quote me on this. Somebody's got to fact check this. I don't have my phone.
Here, what is it?
Didn't Bayer start off, or didn't they at one point, wasn't it like a Nazi company, or didn't they make stuff for the Nazis back in World War II?
Or
I think
a scientist made it.
I think they either